Given this progression here, what do we see? We'll start by observing and we'll find here that the values in this our sequence increase in an exponential manner. So here I find that if I multiply 1 by 2, I'll have 2. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 4 times 2 gives me 8. 8 times 2 gives me 16. So if I divide 4 all over 2, gives me 2. Yeah, 64 all over 32 gives me 2. 128 all over 64 gives me 2. This number that we use to multiply consecutive terms is called our common ratio. We'll take another example. If I'm given the first term as 3 and I'm told that my common ratio is 2, what would be the succeeding terms? I have 3 times 2, which will be 6. 6 times 2, 12. 12 times 2, 24. 24 times 2, 48. So we find here that in these two examples, the series are diverging. The values increase. It's also possible to have a series where the values contract, that is, become smaller in size. Example, I could have 12 times half gives me 6, times half gives me 3, times half gives me 3 all over 2, times half gives me 3 all over 4. So we find that as we progress in the sequence, the values are reducing. So we call this convergence. Our sequence here is said to be converging. Let us consider this sequence here. This we call the first term. Let's use U1. This is the second term U2. This is the third term U3. Fourth term U4. Fifth term U5. This is our first term. We call that A. What is the second term? Second term is 6. How do I get the second term from the first term? By multiplying it with a common ratio. What is our common ratio here? Common ratio is 2. So 3 times 2 gives me 6. Here I have, this is AR. Third term will have AR times R. So this will be AR square. Fourth term, we get it by multiplying the third term by our common ratio. So I have AR squared times R, which gives us AR cubed. This will be AR to the fourth. So what do I find here? I find here that this power differs from the term by 1. So if I subtract 1 from the term, I have the power to which the first term is raised. So I'll need to write a general formula for finding the terms. If I consider that term to be u to the n, I can now make a general statement that u to the n is equals to AR n minus 1. So for a geometric progression, the value of a term is given by A times R to the n minus 1. Let's consider this example. The first term of a GP is 2 and the common ratio is 3. Find the fourth term. The first term of a GP is 2. So the first term is 2. And common ratio is 3. Find the fourth term. Find the fourth term. Here I have U1 is the first term, which means that A is 2. Now I have U to the fourth, which is equal to AR to the third. So U to the fourth will be equals to, what is A? 2 times 3 to the third. U to the fourth is equal to 2 there times 27. U to the 4th is equals to 54. Given that 14, 7, 3.5 are in GP, geometric progression, find the 8th term. Now, we know that our first term, A, is equals to 14. What is our common ratio? You can check for the common ratio here. We'll have second term divided by first term. This will give us 7 all over 14, which is equals to half. Our common ratio here is half. Now, we state our general formula. We know that U to the n is equal to A times R to the n minus 1. So here we'll say our 8th term, U8, will be equal to A times R to the 7. U to the 8 is equals to, for the first term, the 14 times half to the 7 to give us 7 all over 64. The 4th term of a GP is 81 and the 7th term is 3. Find the first term and common ratio. 4th term, 81. The 7th term is 3. Find the first term and common ratio. I know that the 4th term is A times R to the 3rd, and 7th term is A times R to the 6th. A times R to the 3rd is equal to 81. I call this equation 1. And A times R to the 6th is equals to 3. Call this equation 2. I need to substitute here. I can break down equation 2. This is AR to the 3rd times R to the 3rd, which gives me 3. What do I see? AR to the 3rd is equals to 81. This is 81 times R to the 3rd is equals to 3. R cubed is equals to 3 all over 81. R cubed is equals to 1 all over 27. I take cube root of both sides. Here I have R is equal to 1 all over 3. Now, how do I get A? I just need to substitute into any of the equations. I take equation 1. I already know the value of R. So I'll say A times 1 all over 3 cubed is equal to 81. This is A times 1 all over 27 is equal to 81. A is equal to 81 times 27. A is equals to 2,187. If 3, x, y, 24 are in GP, find x and y. I see here that x is our second term, y is the third term. I start from what I know. This is u1, which is a, equals to 3. Our first term there is a. This is our fourth term, which is ar cubed. AR cubed, our fourth term, is equals to 24. But we know the first term A, so I'll say this is 3 times R cubed is equal to 24. R cubed is equal to 24 divided by 3. R cubed is equals to 8. I then take cube root of both sides. Here I have R is equals to 2. I've worked out the common ratio and the first term. I can now get x and y easily. I know that x is the second term, which is just AR. So this will be, x will be the first term, which is 3 times 2. x is equal to 6. What is y? Y is the third term. Y is the third term, so I have y is equal to ar squared. Y is equal to 3 times 2 squared. Y is equal to 3 times 4. Y is equal to 12.